Hey yo, welcome back to Real Talk. I'm your host, ANAKINSKY. You know what I'm saying? We talk about real issues. You know what I'm saying? Hey yo, let's get into this. Hey, you ever think about this? And this is some fucked up shit. In advance, fair warning, this is some fucked up shit. I gotta reminisce about Donald Trump for a minute. I know everybody say, fuck Donald Trump. I feel you. I agree. And this pussy ass talking about something he want to vote. He want to motherfucking run for election in motherfucking 2024. I know we're not gonna let that ignorant shit happen, right? Right? Alright. But now look, check it out. Now, you think about I understand George Floyd situation and various, various amounts of people that had to suffer the social injustice because of our melanin. Now, when you think about this, the federal government of America, Donald Trump, for instance, specifically Donald Trump, with the help of Joe Biden, it's like Bill Gates released the motherfucking Trump 19 virus. I called the Trump 19 virus because of the fact that how disrespectful Donald Trump was with his phrase and frequency of how he spoke about people in Wuhan and so forth. Asian. Keep in mind and so forth, us black, Hispanic, Native Indigenous, Aboriginal people is also Asiatic. So that phrase that he used is actually derogatory towards us, as all of us as well. Because Asia actually is essentially the cradle of civilization. Because when you think about Iraq, where Garden Eden is currently found, the Garden Eden essentially is in Iraq, which always was, which technically Saddam Hussein actually proved that, but that's besides the point. Anyway, long story short, point is, then Donald Trump and so forth was talking about make America great again. But think about how America's creation started. It started with giving us smallpox, having border control. When you reference the Trilogies, when they marched us black, Hispanic, Native, Indigenous, we all is indigenous technically, east to the west, down in America. Keep in mind, Cali in Midwest is technically America. So essentially, that was the studying of Azurf, which now is known as America. Now, anyway, when Donald Trump said "Make America Great Again," "Make America Hate Again," no, he meant "Make us slaves again." Understand? Donald Trump wanted to make us slaves again, and that's pretty much people. Well, obviously, my nigga, like everybody understand that Donald Trump is fucked up. That's why he got his ass impeached. True. Guess what though? We smiled when Donald Trump got out of office. Fuck the part about it for what? Why we happy for? They put Joe Biden in office. Joe Biden is a racist, child molester, woman abuser as well. When you think about segregation, well, think about this. This how fucked up Joe Biden is. Think about segregation. Well, when they were separating people by complexion to go to certain schools, Elias meant to saying that they wouldn't want white children to go to school with black children. Okay, Joe Biden did that. Or when people think about Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton essentially, oh, Bill Clinton was responsible for the mass incarceration of black, Hispanic, and Native Indigenous people with Joe Biden's crime bill. So Joe Biden is actually responsible for that shit. Or how, which proves Joe Biden's a racist. Then you got to figure out how Joe Biden was on camera kissing underage girls, his own granddaughter, and well, his granddaughter was 16 years old at the time. That's molestation, essentially. But essentially, well, it's worse than that because Joe Biden was touching children that was 10 years old. So it's worse than that. Which the news networks reported all this shit to begin with. Then you have to figure out how Joe Biden also has several keywords, several uh, uh, um, sexual assault charges with even grown women. One of them even said that he penetrated and she felt powerless to stop him. Essentially, That means he raped her, which means Joe Biden is a child molester, woman abuser, and a rapist. Facts. So I'll be smiling about anything. We still in the same situation. They put evil out of office to put evil in office. Fuck we celebrate. And Joe Biden talking about some he want to mandate the vaccine and shit. Oh, a mandated vaccine. Hmm. Let me think about this shit. Now, if the vaccine was made by Bill Gates, who owns the virus and owns the vaccine, and Bill Gates and Melinda Gates invested in Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood, which was started by whom? Mother Sanger. Mother Sanger and so forth was in the Ku Klux Klan, which started the Negro Project, the which is the Euthanagetic Project or Planned Parenthood Project, and said we were human beings and we should not repopulate. So Martha Zanger's philosophy was that us black, Hispanic, Native, Indigenous in America should not have children, which is why the majority of women who abort their children is black, Hispanic, Native, Indigenous. How did that happen? Simple. Dr. King, which gave an award. I mean, it's like he got who got an award from Martha Zinger. He was with that shit with his salad ass. Google search if you don't believe me, and I meant that shit. Google search if you don't believe me. It's factual. I know it pisses me off as well, but essentially and so forth, that's what the fuck he did. Now, this means that when you think about David Dukes, which is also in the Ku Klux Klan and still is the grand keywords grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. So he high up in the Ku Klux Klan. David Dukes high as shit up in the Ku Klux Klan. Was responsible back in 1950 teaching the Ku Klux Klan to join the police force in the first place, which is why there was so much of an increase of police brutality. David Dukes, the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. So this means the Ku Klux Klan is terrorist organization. Now, I thought the Patriotic Act meant. It's actually me. If I go Patriotic Oath, let me do this shit in rotation. I thought the Patriotic Oath was I swear to defend this country from all tyranny, foreign and domestic. So this means tyranny. Domesticated terrorism is the Ku Klux Klan, meaning localized terrorism. So the localized terrorism is the Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazis, supremacist groups. They oppress us, black, Hispanic, Native people. Now, they talk about Al Qaeda, Taliban, and ISIS, but they was all started by the Central Investigating Agency, protected by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Defense, and National Security Agency, which the National Security Agency has more authority than the president. It's the only organization inside the uh, um, freaking government governmental associations without having to report to the president. Everyone else reports to the president except for the National Security Agency. Anyway, which means they have the more authority than the president. Fuck the part about it. Now, this means essentially the Ku Klux Klan finances every organization because they basically started the Republican Party, Tea Party, and Democratic Party. That's what we call America Caca. Essentially, it means it's for that America is ran by terrorists. So, Patriot Oath, damn, that's fucked up. They means the fucking government violates Patriot Oath. What about the Patriot Act? The Patriot Act was something that motherfucking George Bush Jr. himself signed, but yet we know as Jesse Ventura, which was actually an ex Navy SEAL, a mayor, and a governor who know and exposed it, George Bush Jr. involvement with 9/11, which essentially means the federal government violated the Patriotic Act and Patriot Oath. But what about the Geneva Convention? The Geneva Convention states that anyone stolen from their land shall be given back to their land. So why have not the people that was in slave ships ever been given back to the land they came from? We never been given back to our lands. Or it also states that if lands were taken from anyone, the land's supposed to be given back to the people that were stolen from. Well, why has not a ZERF been given back to us black, Hispanic, Native Indigenous, Aboriginal people? Because the federal government of America don't give a fuck about the same rules and regulations they tell us to apply. Which means essentially, if you want to break it down again, okay, not a problem. This means that the Ku Klux Klan is in direct violation of the Patriot Act, Patriot Oath, and Geneva Convention, which essentially means, technically, logistically, what it means is that the National Security Agency, Federal Bureau of Investigation, it's actually, let me start over. The National Security Agency, Federal Bureau of Investigation Agency, Central Investigating Agency, Department of Defense, Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, Coast Guard, and National Guard, logistical system, judicial system, and police should be doing everything in their power to stop the Ku Klux Klan. Because that's what they signed up for to begin with, right? So if I'm wrong for saying that, wouldn't that mean that essentially the federal government of America violates our rights on a day-to-day basis? I don't know. And long story short, um, you know, leave comments, you know what I'm saying, hit that subscribe button, you know what I mean? This is real talk. I'm out. Hey yo, hey yo, hold on, wait, before I roll out, one more thing. I'm ANAKANSKY. You know what I'm saying? Check out the, you know what I'm saying, the music as well, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Alright. But remember to stay spiritual and revolutionary. Because the government don't want us to have anything but oppression. Good footnote. I forgot about that one. I forgot about this. I forgot about this very important piece of information. I just realized this shit. Excuse me for a minute. I just thought about the fact that all of us actually have authority. The so I know call nobody father. I understand that call in the scripture. We never have to call nobody father. I understand that, but this is what they call it as far as what the federal government says. The founding fathers mean the people that basically stole this nation, but essentially they sit back and that's what they said. They left in the Constitution the right to protest and rebel against a society if the federal government ever decided to oppress people. So essentially, that means is for we have the right to write and protest anytime we fucking feel like it, logistically. And he even sit back and say we're wrong actually breaks the Constitution whenever we riot or protest, which means essentially when police actually say y'all can't riot, y'all can't protest, essentially it's our logistical right in the first place, which means even the police are wrong to even tell us not to riot or protest. Ain't that fucked up? Anyway, peace.